In this presentations, we are going to discuss about data flow analysis in the code optimization. In this data flow analysis, we are going to discuss about how the data is delivered from the one block. So the data flow information can be collected by setting up and solving systems of equations that relate informations at various points in a program. A typical equations has in the form of out of S is equal to gen of S union of in of S minus kill of S. But there is a statement. So what is the data flow from that statement? That is an out of statement. What is an generated? That means what is an output data flow information from that statement? That is an out of S. That is defined by gen of S. What is to be generated or defined by the statement? That is union with the input of the statement minus kill of the statement. Some information is to be killed by that statement definitions. So that is a kill of statements. So that is subtracted from what are the inputs given to that statements. That's an input of the statements. So the data flow informations of the particular statement S is defined by the generation of S union, or it is concatenated with what are the informations to be given to the S minus kill of S. Actually the details how the data flow equations are set up and solved depend on three factors. The first one is the notations of generating and killing depend on the desired informations, and since the data flow along control paths, data flow analysis is effectively affected the control constructions in the program. In fact, when we write out of S, we explicitly are defined. So in that time we implicitly assume that there is a unique and point where the control leaves the stations, because when we define out of S, it is an explicit result. So in that time implicitly we can define the point where the control leave the statements. Then the third factor is there are the subtypes that go along with such statements as procedure calls assignments through pointers. So what is point and path? The point, so where the information is to be flowed. Then the path is defined the connections of the points. If consider the block B1 where it has three statements, so the input of that block, it has one point that is an above of the D1 statement, and the next the gap between the D1 and the D2 it has another point, second point, and the gap between the T2 and the T3 is a third point, and the end of the block B1 has another one point. So totally 4 points are available in the block B1. So like that the next blocks. So this kind of data flow is defined by the points P1 to P2 to P3 to P4 in the particular block B1. So next, global data flow analysis is actually defined by that the path of the points. So the path from P1 to Pn is the sequence of the points P1, P2 up to Pn, such that each points is available between 1 to n minus 1 statements or 3 address code in the blocks. So the representations of sets. The set of definitions such as the gen of S and kill of S can be represented compactly using bit vectors. We assign the numbers to each definitions of interest in the flow graph. So then the bit vectors representing a set of definitions will have one n positions if I here I if and only if the definitions numbered I is in the set. The bit vector representations for sets also allowed set operations to be implemented of identified. So the union and intersections of the two sets can be implemented by logical or and logical set respectively. So basic operations is most systems oriented programming language. The definitions of A and B is defined or differentiated by a set A and B can be implemented by taking the complement of the B and then logical and using a logical and to compute A cap of B. Thank you.